listener back in the day when the company went bankrupt, and he listened and said, no, we need to form a public transportation company. Working with the General Assembly, they did that. And when he became senator, the maintenance staff and everybody said, we need better facilities, so I'll get you the money, I'll build you a new bus barn, got the money, new bus barn, thank you for naming it after him. And hopefully I can live up to that, keep listening, and in the short time I've been governor, hopefully we've been doing that, working with your new boss, Ray Studley, and listening to
Good job, he's going.
That's our job to listening. WICA is one of the most people-intensive pieces of state government. More people in there, so you have to listen. You have to have good morale and good service. It's not going to happen if we're not listening. So I hope to do what my dad did and keep listening to all the good people of Ripta and provide the great service at the best courteous possible price we can to taxpayers. You're doing a great job. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Great to be here with you. Thank you.
Next keynote speaker. Become a friend of this local. He's overcome many obstacles in his life. He's in his 7th term as a congressman in the state of Rhode Island and Washington, D.C. He understands and respects labor, always has, and I believe he always will. He cares about Rhode Island, he cares about Rhode Island. It's my privilege and honor to introduce Congressman James Landry.
Thank you all. Thank you for the kind introduction. It's a distinct honor and privilege for me to be here tonight on this milestone celebration. Let me recognize Governor Cheney and my colleague in the Congress, Governor David Cicilline, George Z. Tom Pugh, President Hanley. Thank you for being with us tonight, your leadership. Most especially, of course, also let me recognize your president here, your leader, Paul Harrington, or Fuzzy.
Fuzzy! Fuzzy! Fuzzy, that's how we know him.
Let me just begin by saying, Paul, you look damn good for 100. In the words of Joe Biden, this is a big deal. 100 years. For the past 100 years, members of Local 618 amalgamated transit union that served our neighborhoods with professionalism and pride. Our communities are richer for your work and your advocacy. Public transportation obviously plays an important role in our lives. It decreases congestion and pollution and individual fuel costs. It connects us to work, recreation, family, and community, near and far, while reducing gasoline consumption and our carbon footprint. It creates jobs in the short term while supporting careers over the long term. More and more, we see employers seeking out locations with transit-oriented development. Their employees want transit services and alternatives. And every day, thousands of Rhode Islanders take transit to work and school. And it's you, our ATU members, getting them there quickly and safely. And we are grateful for the work that you do each and every day, the people of the state of Rhode Island. Our young people, our elderly, and especially individuals with disabilities, public transportation is playing a more and more important role than ever. And for some, it is their only means of transportation. It increases access to employment and healthcare visits, and it improves overall quality of life for many who have no prior way of leaving their homes. In Congress, I want you to know that I voted to increase funding for our transit system to jumpstart job creation, as well as to make the needed investments to support a growing 21st century economy. To me, this is a win-win situation, and I'm going to continue to fight to ensure that transit is always adequately funded. In closing, let me just say, ATU continues to play a critical role in rebuilding America's economy and a stronger, more sustainable foundation. As Rhode Island and the nation face ongoing economic challenges, it's more important than ever to ensure that everyone can afford to get to work, to the grocery store, to the doctor, and to school. Public transportation helps always make this possible, and you're the driving force behind that all. So with that, thank you for your service and for 100 years of dedication to the people of the state of Rhode Island. Congratulations on this great milestone.
We only have a couple more tonight, and then we're starting along. It's my privilege to introduce our next keynote speaker. Two second-term congressman, an individual that last year, this Union International had a campaign to get our national leaders out to talk to individuals and passengers that rode the bus. He took the opportunity in his time to come down Kennedy Plaza, spent an hour passing out pamphlets, passengers, talking to bus drivers, and getting people to vote for politicians that support public transit. He understands what public transit means not only to the state of Rhode Island, but nationally. And what it meant to the city and province as he was mayor. He understood what it meant to people get to and from work. He cares about Rhode Island. I believe he's going to be in Congress a long time.
Yes.
We look forward to that. My honor and privilege to introduce Congressman Peter Cicilline.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes.
Really thrilled to be here tonight with Governor Chafee, and I thank you, Governor, for your great leadership in transit and for the legacy of your father who has led our work in our state. We are all better for it. It's wonderful to be with my senior colleague, Congressman Langevin, the International President, President Hanley, Tom Cute, of course, your outstanding President, Fuzzy Harrington. Other great interviews who are here today, George Lee, Paul McDonald is here, many others. Thank you for being here to be part of this great celebration. First, let me say thank you, because you, this union, Local 618, was incredibly helpful to me in my re-election. So I want to say thank you to Fuzzy, to all the men and women who helped me. We had a tough re-election, and you were there for me, and I thank you for that. We're celebrating 100 years of ATU, and with more than 1,000 active members and several hundred retired members, Local 618 plays a very important role in the day-to-day life of our state. As my colleague Congressman Langevin mentioned, you are RIPTA drivers and school bus drivers and school monitors and aides. You make paratransit possible. You help individuals who are homebound travel to work and school and medical appointments, and you really do help the economy of Rhode Island move forward. And the issue of how people get to work remains a central issue in Rhode Island. It was a central issue when I was mayor, and it's a central issue all across this country. And investing in transit, a robust transit system so that people can get to work, is one of the key ways I believe that we can grow our economy. But in addition to that, we're celebrating 100 years of this great union. And with middle-class families in our state and in this country facing greater challenges than ever before, it's incredibly important that the union maintain a strong, influential voice in our state. Earlier this year, the share of America's workforce that belongs to a union hit a 97-year low. Only 11.3% of workers now belong to a union. A large number of those are in the public sector. In the private sector, unionization fell to 6.6%, down from 35% in the 1950s. Now think about what that means. We have the worst income disparity we've had in a generation. levels of poverty are increasing. And there are some who believe that the best way we can get our economy moving again is to demonize labor and weaken workers' rights. And Jim and I see that almost every week in the Congress of the United States. And our whole delegation is fighting back against that because we recognize that the best way we can rebuild our economy is to support working families and to ensure that we provide opportunities to grow union membership. The fact is that our economy is strongest, our country is strongest, when working families have a strong labor voice fighting on their behalf. And I think history will demonstrate unequivocally that there has been no greater engine for prosperity and the growth of a strong middle class than an active labor movement. Unions create demand in an economy by raising wages for its members and putting more purchasing power to work, resulting in more hiring. And by creating a higher prevailing wage, unions lift wages for non-union members. So even if you aren't in a labor union, you've likely benefited because of the labor union. And so I think we are at a time right now where we are fighting in Washington to protect the ability of labor to organize and to collectively bargain and to help us grow the middle class in this country. And we're fighting against forces who don't believe investing in infrastructure, they don't believe investing in transit, they don't believe investing in education, and they continue to present initiatives that will undermine the ability of labor unions to organize and to collectively bargain. I recognize, our whole delegation recognizes that the future of our state and the future of this country is contingent on our ability to protect and grow the middle class of this country. And I promise you that that's what I will continue to do. I thank you for the service that you have provided. I congratulate you on 100 years of this wonderful union. Thank your extraordinary members. Thank your great leaders. Thank you.
Thank you. We got one more keynote speaker before we have a little surprise. But with that, we can't talk about labor in the state of Rhode Island. We can't talk about labor without talking about George Nee and the AFL-CIO. He's a man that takes the minimum wage here and there. He wants to improve the quality of life of the people that live in Rhode Island. He fights daily for the State House to improve working conditions, the labor movement, the state of Rhode Island as a whole. So, with that said, I'd like to present George Nee.
On behalf of the Rhode Island AFL-CIO, it's an honor to be here tonight with Fuzzy, Tom Q, Kevin Olay, President Hanley, our governor, and our two congressmen, Jim Blanchard and David Cicilline. But the real honor is to be here as a part of this celebration and be with the working rank and file members of ATU 618, past and present, who have dedicated their careers United States of public transportation. Just going to ask you to take a minute. 1913, the Red Sox were the reigning world champs, having won in 2012. The 16th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution brought in the income tax. Now, don't fool, because if we didn't have that, we'd really be in trouble. The 17th Amendment called for the direct election of U.S. senators. The U.S. Department of Labor was established. Henry Ford came up with the idea of paying workers $5 a day so they could buy the products that they were making. We had 93 million people in the United States and 2,100,000 union members. The life expectancy of a male was 50 years old. For a female, 55. It hasn't changed much. Still have that gap. 2% of the country had electricity. The average income was $740. For those of you old enough to remember this, the movies were 7 cents.
Bread was 6 cents a loaf, steak was 20 cents, which most working people didn't have. Potatoes were 2 cents, they probably got a lot of those. A bottle of tea cost $5.50 and a house cost $6,000. And very important for the ATU members here, a streetcar bus trip was 5 cents and the transfer was a penny. If you went to the suburban rural route, it was 10 cents, and if you went all the way to Narragansett, it was 25 cents. I bring those things up because we've come a long way in this country from where our grandmothers, grandfathers,